Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachani Mancha Kalpatarukyasya Vivasan Kutyate Tanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. So I'll share a PPT with all of you just a minute, in a moment. Okay. Can you see now? Can you see now? So when we say this is a topic which I had given little than Lord one, this is a very important topic for both spiritual life and in our professional life. In order for us to live our lives confidently, satisfactorily, with the right kind of emotions in our heart. Because this session will teach us many valuable lessons on the right outlook to life. So when you look at the picture here, you all know why did I put this in the poster here? As you know the story, on the left side you find Hanuman and many other Vanaras, the monkeys, are building the Setu bridge for Lord Rama. And they're all writing the names of Ram and putting the stones and making the bridge. And you can see on the right side, the monkeys are all holding huge boulders. On the other hand, there was a small squirrel which was also trying to render some seva for Lord Rama. So Hanuman saw the squirrel coming in midway, and he picked up the squirrel and asked, "Hey, why are you disturbing our service? Get lost from here." So Lord Ram told Hanuman, I appreciate your big volumes of service, big capacity of service which you do according to your capacity, but this little squirrel is doing service according to his capacity. So as you see, Lord Rama is keeping the squirrel on his hands and putting 3 lines behind his back. And this story teaches a very important lesson, how the Supreme Lord values everybody's service, be it small, be it big. What he most appreciates is if one renders service to one's best capacity. That is the main lesson. If one is putting his best capacity in rendering service, Lord is happy with that devotee, whoever it be. I heard a story in the Bible also that there was one proud Pharisee who went to a church, and he was standing in the front and he was speaking in a very stylish way to God, saying that, oh God, you may be aware that in the last 1 year I have given you so much donations. And I am not like that. And he showed behind, there was one poor publican standing behind in the church. And he showed and said, I'm not like him who gives you meager donations. I have given you this much huge donation. And I have done this business, I earned so much, and I have given you this much. And he went on boasting about himself. And of course, he walked out of the church like with his lifted nose like this, with hands in his pocket. like an anti-aircraft gun, He walked out stylishly out. And the poor publican was standing in the rear end of the church. He was striking on his breast and he prayed to God and said, "Oh God, I am very insignificant, uh, poor fellow. I haven't done any service to you except just coming to the church and bowing to you and telling you my life stories and seeking your shelter. You are so kind. You are father of everybody, rich and poor, educated and uneducated, wise and foolish. Everybody ultimately is your child. So please kindly forgive me for all my sins." So Jesus told this story to his disciples and told them, although two people entered the church, God heard the prayer of only one of them. And you all can guess whose prayer Lord heard. The prayer which came from a humble heart of the poor publican, not the proud Pharisee. So, in this way, whether it be, you take any religion, Islam, Christianity, Sanatana Dharma, anything you take, all of them bring up this one theme that only the meek and humble can inherit the kingdom of God. My spiritual master once was telling, in Jerusalem, there is a needle of the eye of the needle gate. It's a small gate, and if anybody has to go with the camel and baggage and everything, they have to get off the camel. They have to push the luggage inside first, and they have to put the camel inside, and they have to practically crawl below. Then only then they can enter that. So he was telling, even entry into kingdom of God happens by a humble soul, not by proud people. And even if our offering is a very humble one, not a very great offering, it's a small offering, still God is pleased with us if we carry the right attitude. Not a boastful attitude, but a humble attitude. God is very pleased with that. Once His Grace Burijan Prabhu gave Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, $200 as donation. When he was a Grihastha, he would give a little bit of his earning. So Prabhupada had great delight on his face. He congratulated him with a letter. "Thank you, Burijan. You are an ideal householder. You are earning and you are giving $200 every week or every month. I'm very grateful to you for your donation." Like the Prabhupada replied back. And His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj came and he put a check in front of Prabhupada, 20,000 rupees check, $20,000 check. Prabhupada said, "This is all. I was expecting even more." He said, because he knew that the Greyhound buses were reaching out hundreds and thousands of books in those days. So, Srila Prabhupada could appreciate people who may supply a small contribution or a big contribution, but he only checked whether everybody is doing to the fullest of their capacity. If they are doing to the full capacity, then Prabhupada was completely satisfied. Like a poor man came and put a coin in the hundi or the collection for the Lord, and a rich man came and put $1,000. But the poor man is appreciated because for him this one coin is a very valuable thing. He doesn't have much food to eat. He's willing to sacrifice forego some of his comforts and put it. But a rich man may have a very big earning, and he gives him giving a small, insignificant part of it. So when I say little done, Lord one, means we have to know the nature of God, and by knowing His nature, we will become deeply satisfied and peaceful in our lives, besides developing affection for Him. One of His natures is the kind of services different people render may be very easy to render, but the right attitude is all is required. There is one verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, which says that, I recite that verse. Shri Rupini Panayati Charana Aravindam Leelam Bujena Harisat Manimukta Dosha Sam Lakshate Svatika Kudya Upeta Hemni Sammarjati Yadanugrahanen Jayatnaha. In the spiritual world, the Lord's consort, goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she is wearing a very costly dress, costly saree, costly jewelry in her body. and she has a crown, she has earrings, and she is carrying a lotus in her hands and twirling a lotus. uh, and she is extremely beautiful. Sri Rupini means beautiful. In one hand, she is twirling a lotus. She looks like a rich girl from a very rich family. She is not a rich girl, but she is a personification of richness. She is called as goddess of fortune. All riches in this world comes from her. And in the left hand, she is having a lotus twirling, but the right hand, she is having a broomstick. Guess what? Why is she holding a broomstick? Because she is holding a broomstick and sweeping the floor in Vaikuntha, which looks like a mirror. There is no dust there. You can see your face clearly on the floor, but still she is sweeping because she wants to see a smile on the face of Lord Vishnu. She is rendering that service, although she is so great. So great personalities have rendered a little service, and that little service has touched the Lord's heart. Like you find King Prataparudra, king of Orissa, when he wanted to earn the favor of Lord Chaitanya. So when there was a Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Rath cart procession, so he went in the beginning of the procession with a broomstick in his hand and started sweeping the ground. And all the citizens are watching. Our king is doing the work of a scavenger. But how exalted our king is, because the king subtly or indirectly wanted to declare to the world that I am not the king. I am just a servant of Lord. God is the real king. Jagannath. He is the master of the universe. I am simply insignificant. Millions of servants he has, and I am one of them. So in order to declare that, the king took a broomstick in the hand and swept the floor in front of Jagannath for the pleasure of Jagannath, service of Jagannath. And seeing that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's called Tuksha Seva. It's a menial service he did. And Lord Chaitanya was deeply touched by that. And Lord Chaitanya decided that I'll give mercy to this king. He's such a good soul. He has not even an iota of pride. He's free from false pride. At that time, Lord Chaitanya looked at him with a merciful glance. And subsequently, he attained mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So, I told you, Lakshmi was the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi was sweeping in Vaikuntha, and Pratap the king is sweeping here. How amazing it is, isn't it? I'll tell you yet another example. In Pune, where I am living now, we used to have a festival called Pune Festival, which my spiritual master Radhanath Maharaj used to organize this festival in Pune many years ago. There used to be like 2,000-3,000 people used to come. In those days, once in a year for 2-3 days they would do. His Grace Jananivas Prabhu would come, His Pankajangiri Prabhu would come, and times Narendranath Maharaj would come. Like that, many would come for the festivals. So one of the days, I think the first day night, I got a bit late. It was almost 11 o'clock at night. I was about to leave. So I saw one boy, he was doing some work at the gate. I observed him. He was getting a lot of sand and putting it at the entrance because it was very water. A lot of water had stopped there due to rains. So I was putting dry sand and hitting it and making it form floor. Then he was also arranging all the sandals, chappals of the devotees. Which some devotees lost their chappals because of the huge crowd which came. That chappals got mixed up. So he was finding out the pairs and putting it in proper place in the boxes. He was putting. So I saw him and I asked him, did somebody give you the service? I asked him. He said, nobody gave me service, he said. Then what inspires you to do this? You are arranging the chapels properly and you are also putting so much sand here. He said, I thought tomorrow again devotees will come in the morning. This water at the entrance, is so muddy and people's legs will go inside the mud and they will feel uneasy. I wanted to see the devotees happy. Therefore, I am putting this dry sand and making it proper. So tomorrow they will have a very nice, comfortable experience, he said. I was so deeply touched. I told that boy. I patted him on his back and I told him, my dear good devotee, good boy, surely you are blessed by God, I told him. Surely one person is watching you, and this will not miss his eyesight, I told him. Then I asked all the audience. In another program, I was quoting this example. I asked them, who was that one person who was witnessing this boy? I asked. Everybody said Radheshyam Das. They said, no, other than Radheshyam Das. There was one more person watching. Who can say? Who was watching him? Yeah? So all are muted. Or you can unmute and say. Yeah?
Krishna.
No, Krishna, that is true. Krishna is watching. Now, nobody gave him this service. He voluntarily did service. He had a good heart to see the devotees happy and comfortable. So it's a little service, you see. And the little service will be very touching to the Lord's heart. And this is the meaning of devotion service. We should have some devotion in our heart for Lord Krishna and his devotees. And we should have developed a desire to render some seva for them, service for them. And while rendering that service, we should do it with love. That is called loving devotional service. We don't do it grudgingly. We don't feel the service burdensome. We do it joyfully. We do it with a desire to serve them, satisfy them, and please them. Now, why am I using so many phrases here, words here? One time in our big temple in Pune, some visitor came. I told one devotee, please take this visitor to Prasadam Hall and give him prasad, I told him. So this fellow took him to Prasadam Hall, he gave him prasad, and he locked all the buckets inside the locker and he went away. So later on I asked the guest, how was the prasad? Did he like it? He said, prasad was good, Prabhu. One thing is, I wanted a second help, but the boy you sent, he went away. Anyway, I adjusted whatever was there, I ate, he said. So next time I decided that I will not send this fellow with guests. Then another guest came, I sent a second boy. And then he served the guest. I told him, the first boy did like this, he didn't give sufficient prasad, he gave sufficient. So the second boy went, he put the prasad in the plate and gave him. So the guest was eating. And the boy returned back and asked him, sir, can I give you more? And he gave. And the guest was very happy. When I met the guest, I asked him, but he said, oh, he gave me sufficient. In fact, second time he came and offered me more prasad. Second serving, I was very happy, satisfied. Then when third guest came, I gave another devotee. So what this devotee did, he sat with the guest. He fed him prasad. He went to the deity room and brought some special gulab jamun mahaprasad for him. He said, specially I have brought for you. He served him. He took him around the temple and he gave him a warm send-off. So this guest noted the devotee's name. Later on in the email he wrote to me, oh, you have such wonderful devotees in your temple. He not only served me, he not only satisfied me, he even pleased me. He exceeded my expectations. So I don't treat him like an alien man now. I treat him like my own friend now. I have his phone number. I call him sometimes. He's such a wonderful devotee in your temple, he said. So in this way, all of us in our lives also, while serving Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas, if we try to serve, satisfy and please them to the best of our ability, whatever ability, capacity we have, God will become very pleased with us. That's why I gave the title, Little Done and Lot Won. Actually, we may do a little service. Even little things please him very much. One more example I'll tell you. One time, Narada came to Dwaraka and wanted to take Krishna with them. And Satyabhama, one of the queens of Krishna, came forward and said, you can't take Krishna always like this with you. This time we have decided we will not give you Lord Krishna to go with you. Instead, equivalent of Krishna, we will give you enough jewelry. So they got a balance. One side they made Krishna sit. Then all the queens removed their bangles and necklaces and put it on the other side. So you can take equivalent of the gold ornaments, Satyabhama said. So they put all their ornaments. Still Krishna was very heavy. They could not equally weigh Krishna. Who can weigh Krishna? Krishna, as a small boy, opened his mouth and showed the whole universe in his belly. She couldn't make the equivalent. Then when Rukmini came, Rukmini saw the situation and said, don't worry. She went to the garden and plucked the tulsi leaf. You all know tulsi. In our temples, we water Tulsi in the morning and we circumambulate. She is a great devotee of Krishna. Tulasi means there is nobody like her. Great devotee. So, therefore, she picked up one Tulsi leaf and came and put it on the top of those jewelry. Immediately it went like this. The weight increased tremendously, and Krishna's, Krishna went up like this. Everybody understood how weighty the Tulasi leaf is. See, Tulasi leaf may be small, but the devotion of Tulasi is very great. Therefore, she did that. She just added one leaf of Tulasi and then the whole weight increased. Again, the same principle, little done, Lord won. Lord is won by devotees who may apparently do some little service but with the right attitude. One time when Lord Krishna was in Mithila, two people invited him to the house. One is the king of Mithila, his name was Bahulashva, and in Mithila there was another poor man whose name was Shrutadev. And they both called Krishna to their place, can you please come? And Krishna accepted both invitations. And guess what he did? Lord Krishna could expand himself into two forms. So, in one of the forms, he went to the king's palace. And there he was served with amazing things. There were dancing girls who were dancing at the entrance to welcome him. And the beautiful drawings were, made on the ground. And very nice welcome. Band was played and beautiful songs were sung to welcome him. And the king personally came to take him and escort him inside his palace. And Krishna and the sages went in and sat. And they were served with, appetizers and fruit juices and a big, some 25 course meal, varieties of items and golden plates and silver plates. And there were sofa sets and, foam beds and very nice couches and everything at home. Very, very comfortable, very posh and very lavish facilities. Krishna and sages accepted everything, and the king came and massaged the lotus feet of Krishna, and he spoke his glories and glorified the sages and everything, and offered profuse gifts and many things in charity and all that. So in another place where Krishna went to the home of Shrutadev Brahmana, he was a poor Brahman living in a thatched hut. When Krishna went, he didn't have dancing girls to a point for dancing and welcoming Krishna, nor could he make any elaborate arrangements to welcome Krishna. So he himself came out of the house and he took his upper garment, the towel, and he waved it around his head and he danced singing Krishna's names. And Krishna and all the sages smiled from a distance. They saw Shrutadeva's simplicity and they were completely satisfied. And Shrutadeva took them all inside his hut. He gave them all simply a mat, small mats to sit. Straw mats he gave them. They sat in straw mats. He gave them some fruits and berries and some very simple items like lemon juice, something like that. They all accepted and he fell at their feet flat and he prayed and glorified Krishna. Krishna was completely satisfied. He didn't expect the poor Shrutadeva to do anything great. He was very happy with his service because he did whatever best he could with whatever limited facilities he had. So everybody's capacity is different to serve Krishna, but Lord is pleased if one does it with love and devotion and with a sincere desire to please the Lord. So therefore I had given the heading Little Done Lord One. Now I'm going to, in the second half of this, I'm going to show you a PPT. Next half an hour, you will learn one amazing thing in the coming slides, which means no devotee has any reason to feel any type of inferiority complex at all in life. If you see this 5 ABCDE formula I'm going to show you, if you know this 5 formula, you will be blissfully situated in your life doing whatever best service you are able to do, and you will feel very confident in life. Okay, I'm going to show you the PPT now. This is the topic. See, aspire to be good, you will end up becoming great. So I will show you in the next slides what all they are. Second one is big and small have potential to stand tall. Compare yourself with yourself only. And do you do for, are you devoted to your service or you do it just for duty's sake? And the fifth one is empowerment. When a human becomes Hanuman, or empowerment means through prayer, empowerment through prayer. So these are the 5 formulae I'm going to show you in the subsequent slides. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah? See, I have got one more thing. Yeah, aspire to be good, do your best. Okay? And you'll end up becoming great. Okay. Yeah. So, as you see here, in the picture, what you see is Ravana is taking away Mother Sita. It comes in Ramayana. At that time, as you see here, one eagle called Jatayu, who was a great devotee of Lord Rama, he interfered with Ravana and told Ravana that you cannot carry Mother Sita like this. I can't let you go. So Ravana told him, oh, old eagle, get out of my way. If you disturb me, I will kill you. And Jatayu said, I will lay down my life, but I will not let you carry Mother Sita. So then Jatayu tore off the armor of Ravana. He also killed the mule or the horse which was driving the Pushpaka Viman, the chariot of Ravana. Then Ravana understood, oh, this eagle seems to be very mighty and powerful. Then he took his sword and cut one of the wings. Then the eagle lost his balance and was coming down. But then Sita was closing her face and weeping. Seeing that, again the eagle shot up. And with one wing, he was trying to flap and hit Ravana. Then Ravana cut that wing also. Then he fell down. Later on, Rama and Lakshman have come there, if you see. Lakshman is applying some medicines and everything for Jatayu. And Rama wept tears. He said, my dear Jatayu, you laid down your life for the sake of my Sita. Don't worry. This very evening, I will send you back to Kingdom of God. I promise you that you will go back to Kingdom of God right this evening. So here the very amazing thing, Jatayu did not win the battle with Ravana. He lost the battle. So is he not a failure? Can any of you say, how is it that even though he failed in saving Sita, the drama is sending him to Kingdom of God? Who can say the answer for that? Anybody? You want to try, anybody? Is my question clear?
So, Prabhuji, devotees are saying that because Jatayu tried his best.
Jatayu tried his best. Yes, exactly. That's the correct answer. He put his best. What more can one do? He laid down his life for the Lord. So this is one interesting phenomenon in the path of bhakti. See, in this material world, if you are studying engineering, like in India, if I am doing engineering, there are 50 exams to be passed, 50 papers. Even if you pass 49 papers, they will not give you the degree. You have to complete all 50. Only then you earn the degree. Whereas that is not so in the path of devotion service. If you have made an effort, Lord is pleased with your efforts, He can take you back to Godhead also, even by your mere efforts. That means Lord pays attention to efforts, not to the results. He's very pleased with the Jatayu's efforts. He's taking Jatayu back. So we all should put our best. That's the whole point. Yeah. So here I'm going to tell you a little story, how a crow became a hero. So once upon a time, a crow was feeling inferiority complex that I look black and my voice is also not very good. A crack, crack, I make a sound like that. It doesn't sound so good. So he went to a cuckoo and said, oh, cuckoo, your voice is so sweet. You make such sweet sounds. Look at me, I'm looking ugly and I have no sweet voice. Cuckoo said, I'm also black like you, don't worry. Only my voice is a bit sweet, that's all right. But I am also not very happy with my life, he said. You see, when I look at the parrot has a green, beautiful green body. He has a reddish beak. So I feel that, parrot is the best bird in the world. I wish I had a colorful body like him. Like that cuckoo said. Then the crow went to the parrot and said, Parrot, you are the best bird in the world. Parrot said, No, I am also not happy with my life. He said, Why? He said, Peacocks are the best because peacocks have the biggest feathers. They dance very beautifully with their big feathers. So then he said, Go to the peacock. Then he came to the peacock. And the crow saw the peacock inside the zoo. And the crow said, Peacock, everybody says you have the best looks. You are the most beautiful. Peacock said, maybe what you're saying, but I am not happy in my life. He said, why? Peacock said, you see, therefore they have captured me and put me in a zoo. Huh? On the other hand, nobody will catch you, crow, and they will not put you in a zoo. You are free to fly in the blue sky. Huh? You have no worries, anxieties. Look at me. I am trapped in a cage. He said. Therefore, Peacock said, I consider you better than me. Then the crow went back to his nest and told his wife, now I am satisfied. Even a peacock says I am better. Now, peacock says our life is better because, we can freely fly here and there. We have the freedom which he doesn't have. So, in this way, you will find everybody in this world is thinking what they don't have. And they don't see what they have. Actually, if we all think about Krishna given gifts in our lives, we will be so happier, much more happier in our lives. What do I have which I can use in Krishna's service? That's what we should ask ourselves. Like you will see, these 5 fingers you see. This finger is used in India generally for challenge. Or people also put likes like this. Likes and dislikes they put, no? So this is a challenge for that. And this finger is used for indicating people. This finger is the tallest finger amongst all fingers. And this finger is used for putting a ring. So every finger has some purpose. And this tall finger can be very proud that I am the tallest. Everybody has some purpose. But the tiny finger may think I am good for nothing. So I told this in one lecture. Some children were sitting. So I told the children, see, this tiny finger, people say useless. What do you think? I generally used to tell the children that even this tiny finger is not useless. Why? Because sometimes we can, do like this for our ears when we are feeling some itching. But one little girl, she's a little girl, she's in 2nd grade. She said, yes, but finger has another purpose. She said, I asked, what is it? She said, Lord Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill with this finger, she said. Isn't it? So you find how even a tiny finger has a purpose. So that's the point, you see. So therefore, nobody needs to feel inferiority. Everybody is given some talent by God. See, big and small have the potential to stand tall. I wrote another phrase also. Bhakti is for all, big and small. That also I wrote. This is another one. Big and small have potential to stand tall. So, yeah. This I already told you about the squirrel. See, here is a story of a sage who had 3 disciples, you see here. He told all of them that now you all are completing your term in the ashram here. Now you will proceed with your next ashram. You may get married and proceed ahead. So, I will give you a task, he told them. You 3 of you go in 3 directions and get me some dry leaves from a jackfruit tree, he told them. So these 3 disciples went in different directions and they all searched for jackfruit tree leaves. But then evening they all came back with empty hands. Then the Guruji was asking, why you are all coming with empty hands? What happened? Tell me. One of them said, you see, under one tree I found a big heap of dry leaves. When I went to pick up, one man stopped me and said, no, we use these leaves as a fuel in the furnace. Sorry, we cannot give you. If you want, per kilo, you have to pay this much money, he said. So we couldn't pick up the dry leaves. So he came back, he said. Then he asked the second one, why you came with empty hands? He said, I also got leaves, but then one fellow was picking up and putting them all together and making a leaf plate, with which in India people make a leaf plate. So he said, one leaf plate will be 1 rupee. He said, he can't give it free and I didn't have any money, so he came back. And the third one he asked, why did you come back without bringing any dry leaves. He said, I found one old lady. She had taken these leaves and crushed them and made a powder which is medicinal. It's used for medicinal purpose. She said, you have to pay money for this leaves if you want. So then Guru asked the three disciples, so what did you learn today by this demonstration or the exercise I gave you? So all of them said, we thought that the tribe leaves are good for nothing. Even they have some value. And Guru said, yes, no one is useless in this world. So even if a dry leaf is not useless, how can human beings be useless? Everybody has some skill, some talent gifted by God. So that is the lesson Guruji taught them. So all of us, as you see here, I will show you that in the next slide. Here, one more example you'll see. So here is another story from Rig Veda. So as you see here, there's a squirrel you are seeing here in the picture below. One day the squirrel came out of a mountain hole and he heard a loud laughter. Like that, he heard a loud laughter. And he turned around and saw the mountain was swelling and laughing like that. And the squirrel was a very confident squirrel. He said, okay, my dear mountain, I agree that if I am not so large as you, you are not so small as I. I cannot carry forest on my back, but neither can you crack a nut like me. He said, this is the self-esteem of the squirrel. You see, this is the story from Rig Veda, you see. Rig Veda teaches us that every one of us, we have some God-gifted talent we have with us. Like a squirrel can crack a nut, a mountain cannot crack a nut. Mountain can carry big forests on its back, which squirrel can't do. So everybody can do something and cannot do something. So look at what you can do. And then use it in Krishna service and be happy and do it to the best capacity with the right type of attitude without becoming boastful or proud. That's all we have to do. Here you see another picture I have shown on the right side. See, when Hanuman went to palace of Ravana in Lanka, Ravana wanted to humiliate Hanuman. He didn't give him a seat at all. But Hanuman said, okay, if you don't give a seat, I am actually Dasoham Kaushalendrasya. He said, I am servant of Lord Rama. Here in your palace, the servants of Rama are disrespected and ignored because you have a very wrong opinion about Lord Ram. So don't worry, Ravana, I'll make my own seat. And look at the seat Hanuman made for himself. With his own tail, he made a tall seat, so much so that Ravana had to look up like that with his eyes. Isn't it? Humble Hanuman, he glorifies Rama palace. So from these stories, what we learn, there is something called a self-esteem. Self-esteem is not pride, but self-esteem means to know that none of us is useless. Every one of us can be utilized in Krishna service in some way. Some devotee can sing well, some devotee can play mridanga well, some devotee can speak well, some devotee can dress the deities well, some devotees can distribute books well, some Mataji can make nice garland, some Mataji can make nice jewelry for the deities. Somebody can be a very good guest receptionist. They can welcome the guests well and warmly treat them, make them feel good. So all of us are differently talented like that. So let us utilize our talent in Lord's service and be happy in that. So that is actually self-esteem. Otherwise, what happens? Sometimes when a person is alone, one thinks that I am not like him, I am not like her, I can't do anything, and nobody looks at me, nobody cares for me. People feel like that. Even though one may be little, one shouldn't feel bogged down by one's littleness. Like once upon a time, a rat was making some noise. Was making noise, and the lion became angry. The lion said, he caught the rat and said, I'll kill you now. The rat said, sir, please don't kill me. I'll be of some help to you later. The lion laughed and said, what help can you be of? Look at you, tiny tot. I am king of the jungle. No one can help me. He said, and the lion said, I would have eaten you, but you will not be fit even for my breakfast. You are so small, useless fellow. He said. And the rat said, sir, spare my life. I'll be of some service to you. And then lion threw him off. So the rat went away. Then another day, the lion was caught in a net. Then the rat came out and looked at the lion's predicament. Then the lion begged the rat, please cut my wires and save me. So the rat could come to help. Similarly, sometimes you may think some devotee is insignificant devotee. What can he or she do for me? But sometimes you will find they may be a great support in something. That time we should never devalue devotees or disrespect devotees. Because every devotee is offered with some talent or potential. Like for example, in our temple, there was one devotee who would never do any service. Just come to the temple, attend the festivals, take prasad and go away. Devotees would say that, hey, he's just chanting, dancing, taking prasad and going away, even misses the lecture and everything. But then later on one day, uh, when we wanted Rath Yatra permission, this devotee said he has got high contacts in the government office. So he took our public relation team directly to the top-notch officer and got permission for Rath Yatra. So somebody may be looking very small, but they may do a very powerful service at a later time. So, yeah, here is a very important point mentioned here that surround yourself with people, uh, who uplift you. We need that uplifting association. Uh, that is very very important. So here is the story. This is a story of one king with two queens. One queen is Suruchi, with a beautiful queen. Another queen is a moral queen, like you see here. Here you find this king was attached to the beautiful queen. Therefore, he kept her son on his lap. But when the other son wanted to sit, other queen son wanted to sit, this beautiful queen, Suruchi, she became annoyed. She thought, I want my son to become the king. Uh, So she sort of ill-treated, being a stepmother, she ill-treated the boy. You can see the first picture, he's crying and going. So he became angry also, that boy. She brought the worst out of Dhruva, that boy. Whereas his mother spoke to the boy, don't harbor any ill feelings towards my co-wife, my dear son. If you want a big kingdom, go to the forest and meet Lord Vishnu, Supreme Lord, and he will give you whatever you want. Don't think anything bad about anybody, she said. And she brought the best out of the boy. So you are able to appreciate this point with what I told you just now. That means some people bring the best out of us. Some people bring worst out of us. The Dhruva, the boy was the same boy, but his own mother brought the best out of him. Stepmother brought worst out of him. Therefore, we need uplifting association. You go to those devotees who encourage you and uplift you, or even if they give feedback to you, they are giving it for your good. You are very confident about it. They are not criticizing you. They are not pushing you down. They are lifting you up. My special master once I asked him, Maharaj, should we chastise devotees or should we pamper devotees? So Maharaj said, you can do either, he said. Really? I can chastise very easily. That comes very easy. Pampering is not very easy. He said, you do either of them, but in either case, you should uplift devotees. Don't push down devotees, like that he said. Then I understood. In either case, if your chastisement can uplift devotees, they become more jubilant in spiritual life, it's wonderful. But generally it's not the case. So then you have to appreciate them, encourage them, and uplift them. Uplifting is the end result we should achieve. See how Krishna is so kind. You can see this. I will share this with you just in a minute. What kind of wonderful Lord we have. You can see this.
Hey, what do you want, my fine feathered friends? Ah, I see. What shall I play then? An excellent choice.
Are you all able to hear the sound?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Was the sound coming?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's clear.
gorgeous as you are beautiful. I will wear it with honor.
So, as you saw here, how kind Krishna is. He's a Lord who is accommodating all creatures, including the peacocks and the deers and monkeys and birds and Yamuna and everybody. So here he's asking the birds, what tune would you like to hear? He's asking. You saw that? Huh? Which means he respects and values every jiva in the spiritual world. Huh? And the peacock chose a tune. And then Krishna said, oh, that's a wonderful tune. He appreciated the peacock for the tune. And then he started playing on his flute. Huh? And after that, the peacocks felt that what do we have with us to give Krishna? Some gift they wanted to give. They thought best thing we have is only our own feathers. They gave a very humble offering. They kept it in Krishna's lotus feet. This is what we have. But Krishna picked it up and put it on his head, which goes to show how much I value your gift. You may think it is ordinary. For you, it is ordinary. For me, it is great. For me, because you are offering it with affection. It's great. That is the kind of Lord Krishna is. So, therefore, we can see this is spiritual world. In spiritual world, everybody is valued and appreciated and respected. Lord respects even the peacocks and monkeys and the deers. So how much more you'll be respecting the gopas, gopis, and mother and father and everybody you can imagine. So here, if you see, there are 7 types of intelligences. Sorry, here if you see the third one, see, compare yourself with yourself only. The weightlifter should not compare himself with a pole vault skinny man, isn't it? What is the meaning of comparing yourself with yourself? You can say that, I was doing this, now I will do this. Last year I was doing only 2 hours of service. This year I will try to make it 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever, a week. So, we can always try to do better in our lives rather than comparing with others. Like, if you think of our own good qualities, we become proud. If you think of others' good qualities, we feel inferiority complex. Like a crab mentality, we try to pull others down. Therefore, we have to know that whatever good qualities I may possess, it's all qualities are all gifts of the Lord. Krishna says, Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. Like here you see, the right side, Newton saw a falling apple and he asked, why is the apple falling down? And he found out the gravitational pull. So Newton didn't create his own brain. Krishna gave him the brain, God gave him the brain. Similarly, he's the strength of the strong, intelligence of the intelligent. All qualities come from Krishna. And this is called the 7 types of intelligence, 8 types of intelligences. All of you look at for a while now and find out which of the talents you possess in this. At least one you will have in this. One or more you may have. So identify your core talent and then engage it in Lord's service and be happy. Even though that may be the only talent one may have. It's called a slim bill, we call it. Spatial visual, logical mathematical, intrapersonal, musical, bodily kinesthetic, and interpersonal, and then linguistic and naturalist intelligence. I will send this PPT to you. You can leisurely go through it, okay? Lord Krishna is the original and supplying source of all the beauties. He says that in one verse. Yad vibhuti mat sattvam, he says that. Says in one of the slokas, he says, I am the source of all good qualities. See, all these 8 types of intelligences come from him. He says that in Bhagavad Gita. He may be word smart, he may be logic smart, nature smart, self smart, teacher smart, music smart, body smart, people smart. Whatever smartness you have, like if you are people smart, you can be in guest reception, will receive the guests and everything. If you are body smart, you can play mridanga, you can dance and kirtan, you can do pujari service like that. Similarly, if you are music smart, you can be a singer, you can be a mridanga player, kathal player, like that. If you are picture smart, you can make nice photographs, videos, like that. If you are self-smart, you can study Shastras deeply and be a preacher. If you're nature smart, you can do eco-friendly projects, farm communities and everything. But if you're logic smart, you can be in accounts department or you can be a fundraiser, many things you can do. So There are all 8 types of talents. See, all the talents come from Krishna. Krishna says it. Yad yad vibhuti matsatvam Sri Madhurjitameva va tat tat eva vagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Oh Arjuna, know that all beautiful, opulent, and glorious creations spring from what a spark of my splendor. Krishna is telling. So they all come from Krishna, like the peacock is dancing beautifully here. It's all coming from the Lord, all this beauty. So everybody's talent comes from Krishna. If somebody is handsome, that comes from Krishna. Somebody is strong, comes from Krishna. So compare yourself with yourself. Here's a little story here. Once upon a time, an elephant, was, joked by a flower, sunflower. Hey, elephant, you are a freak. Look at us flowers. What beautiful petals we have. Look at your flat, shaven body with no petals or frills. You look funny, like that the flower said. So then elephant got inferiority complex. Oh, my body looks like shaven completely. I don't have flower petals, so he felt the inferiority complex. Guess what he did? He went and took all the leaves and purchased Fevicol and applied it all over his body. Yeah? And stuck all the petals and came and asked, oh, flowers, what do you say? Am I looking good enough now? Huh? He asked. And then when the elephant climbed up the hill, he got toppled down because he couldn't see properly. And he rolled several times down and he came. And then he fell into the lake. Again, he became like this. And he fell into the lake again. Again, the flowers are laughing at him. That time the flowers told him, dear elephant, don't worry, my friend. Please understand this fact. Elephants are elephant, flowers are flowers, he said. Flowers can't do what you can do. You can lift logs of wood. Nor can you be what we flowers are. Be happy the way God has made you. Don't try to be like someone else. Then the elephant thanked the flowers. Thank you for the wonderful lesson you taught me. Now I can live peacefully as God has made me. I get your point. So God created you as you are. Learn to love it and learn to live it. See here, Yashoda is acting as a mother. That is her natural relation. Nanda Baba is acting as God's father. That is the way he reciprocates. His gopis are dancing with Krishna, lovers of Krishna. And similarly, all the residents of Raja are taking shelter of the Govardhan hill under Krishna's hand and protected by Krishna. So you will see in spiritual world, nobody has to be like anybody else. You play your role and Lord is happy with you in that particular mood in which you want to reciprocate with him. See here, all the covered boys are eating prasad with Krishna. They're very happy in that particular role. See, Einstein, what he says, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's a stupid. That means inferiority complex comes by unhealthy comparison. Look at the right side picture. There is monkey, that's a bird, monkey, penguin, elephant, and there's a sea elephant, and there's I think, dog, I think. And the principal is telling, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. He's saying, please climb that tree. How ridiculous it is. How can an elephant climb a tree? That's a foolish system of education where everybody has to become engineer or doctor. Therefore, one should know that we all are differently talented by God's creation. Here you see, according to Vedas, Varna Shama, there are 4 kinds of psychophysical natures we have. In the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, which means some are teachers or educators, scientists or poets, philosophers. They all come in first category, teachers. Second is Kshatriya, means administrators, or rulers, or kings, or leaders. Third is Vaishya, who is a trader, one who protects cows and does the farm and also trading and selling business. And fourth is Shudra, artisans or laborers. And they actually can do any hard work. That's natural for them. Their body is built like that. They can do hard work. So in this way, one should know one's psychophysical nature and choose a service and be happy. And here is, do you do work in a devoted way or do you do for duty's sake? So now, so far, is it so good? It was easy for you to grasp whatever I am speaking. Is it all right? Is my sound coming properly?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the previous one I told you was compare yourself with yourself only. No need to compare. Like a squirrel never compares itself with a giraffe. You know, squirrel has its own advantage. Giraffe has its different advantages. Similarly, we also no need to compare ourselves with others. We have to see every year, are we improving? What was I before and what am I doing now? So the next one, D, is how do you do your services? Like here, look at these three pictures I've shown you. Like if somebody is available for doing a seva 24/7, that is also consistency, which is wonderful. Similarly, if you are a good team player, imagine Mataji is a good team player. She can sit with other ladies and she can make garlands. Similarly, there is a devotee who is a good book distributor who goes with a team of devotees in a bus or a car to distribute proper books. That is also a big credit because some people are not good team players. But some people are good team players. If you're a team player and you are having consistency, 24/7 you're available. And similarly, the third picture you see a hardworking devotee, one who is willing to take responsibilities and run. That means taking responsibility, availability, consistency, team playing. These are also indications of a person being devoted. You are not just doing it for the duty's sake. You are bringing the best out of you. So, therefore, Prabhupada says there was one lady in Vrindavan in the Radha Damodar temple. Prabhupada used to watch early morning. This old lady, she was 80 plus years old. She'll be carrying water pot and keeping it outside the sanctum, and Pujari will take it later. Early morning, 5 o'clock, she would bring water. So Prabhupada said, not a single day she missed. And she was hardworking. Her hands and legs would shiver because of old age. But her service will definitely take her back home, back to Godhead. Like that he said. So in this way, you will find the consistency. Prabhupada appreciated that. My special master, when he took us to Vrindavan, he took us to one temple and said, here is a person, Pujari, his age is 88 years old, he said. He joined the Gurukula of his guru at the age of 8. Now he's 88 now. 80 years he has served. All of you fall at his feet and take his dust on your head, he said. Look at his faithful, loyal service to his guru. In this way, you don't have to be a big boss in any field. If you have consistency, 24/7 you are available, you are a good team player, you are a hardworking person. These are also counted in any service. The world needs such people also. Not only, imagine somebody is a very talented person, but he can't play in a team, or he is very arrogant. What is the use of that person? Prabhupada says a tiger is a strong animal, but everybody is afraid they run away from the tiger. Similarly, if somebody is an arrogant devotee, nobody can give any service. On the other hand, cow is a very mild-natured animal, but cow gives milk, and it can benefit so many people. Similarly, in this world, whoever we are, we can cultivate these qualities in order to be better servants. This is the last one. E, empowerment. Pray for empowerment. Arjuna was disempowered by his own mind because of fearing to fight the battle due to relatives on both sides. But Krishna empowered him by his prayer. So we all can pray in our life. Write a daily journal about what positive development you are doing in your life, whether you are able to bring about some self-discipline and rising early in the morning and chanting the rounds. Are you monitoring yourself? Pray to the Lord for guidance. My Lord, my reading is very poor now. I want to read better, proper books regularly. I want to chant better. Be honest with yourself. Also strive for perfection. Don't get discouraged by small problems that will come your way. And also, be happy to live your best life. And then whatever talent Krishna has given, use it and be happy. My spiritual master, he sent me to Pune. In 1995, I came to Pune. Many times when I would go to Bombay, I would ask him, Maharaj, what is your instruction for me? He would tell me only one thing, be happy, he would tell me. No, Maharaj, I'll be happy, no problem. But any other instruction, there's no other instruction. You should be a happy devotee. You should be happy and make other devotees happy. He used to say that. And then I asked, but what service you want me to do? He said, I don't have to tell you, you are already doing. There are many services you're doing. But if you are happy and devotees are happy, and if you are able to take the people ahead, in Krishna consciousness for decades together till the last breath. So he made a point at that time. He said, people in your custody should continue Krishna consciousness for their whole life till the last breath. And at any cross section of their life, they should have a meaningful and satisfactory seva engagement. If you take care of these two things, that means any cross section of life, they should be doing some seva. And they should be happily situated till the last breath. If we can do that, you have already achieved success, he said. So, in this way, we also, every one of us, we have to find out if we're not happy, we have to find out why. Some attitude problem may be there, we have to check it. Because Lord is always there for us. If He's there for the peacocks, is He not there for us? So increase your energy level through prayer to Lord and superior blessings and empowerment. See, Hanuman was empowered by the words of Jambavan, who glorified him and told his potential. So our own perseverance and the power of superior blessings and prayer to Lord. This gives empowerment, and we can do miraculous services after that. You see? Hanuman, here he is standing in the Mandara Parvat after he was empowered. I mean, he is offering prayer with the folded palms. He is praying to Lord Rama, Lord of his life, praying to his father Vayu, and he is praying to Surya Deva, who is his guru. And then he will take a leap, you will see. So this way Hanuman did very many miraculous things because he got empowerment from Lord Ram as well as Jambavan and others who encouraged him. So in our life also we can do many wonderful things by prayer, by praying for empowerment. And lastly, Srila Prabhupada, you see how Prabhupada went to Sumati Maharaj and begged for a ticket in Jaladuta, he boarded Jaladuta, and then he got a couple of heart attacks. Still he persisted, and he got assurance from the Lord, don't worry, we are all with you. We will go with you to the West, and you will do great things in the West, don't worry. And then he went to the West, Lord Krishna gave him assurance. And then when he arrived at USA, so he went to the park and he started with the hippies, and he did vigorous kirtans and preaching, and the rest is history. How in the next 12 years he encircled the globe 14 times and did the great things, even in such an old age. And he brought success after success. So many wonderful things are happening in the world now by the mercy of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. We are eternally grateful to him because he said, I am one old man and I could open 108 temples. And he said, all of you young boys and girls, you can do so much more. Prabhupada is always encouraging. In this way, many wonderful things can happen through us. This is an article which came in a newspaper recently. Most successful Indian in America. Thank you very much. So it was all right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is it audible, Prabhu?
Yeah. Can I take one question or it's getting late?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. And this Prabhuji wanted to beg forgiveness. Actually, we started with the introduction and we wanted to formally welcome you, but apparently our microphone was off. So really sorry for that, Prabhuji, but I
already came once before, and because he introduced me that time, I presumed that I can start the class right away. Huh?
Yeah, but we'll just formally welcome you, Prabhuji, by chanting three times loudly. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful topic. In fact, we have a very a small meeting afterwards just to discuss on the sevas and services. Many new devotees have come today, and we are going to distribute the seva form in which they will fill up their likes, whichever services they would like to perform. So I think by Krishna's mercy, this was one of the
fitting talk for that, isn't it?
Yes, Guruji. So we all
Everybody will be inspired to do something what is naturally coming for them. And by doing the service, they'll make great spiritual progress by that. Very good. Yeah.
yes,
One
yes,
question has come from Sakshi Malhotra Mataji here. Can you read out that question, please?
yes, sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. How do deal with arrogant devotees walk away or stay consistent? Because many times it can bring our moral down.
Yeah. So when somebody is very aggressive in nature, uh, one of the first things we should do with such devotees is uh, we should see three things. What is the contribution to Prabhupada's mission? They might have done 10, 20 years of service sometimes. And what are their good qualities? Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked, you say he's arrogant devotee? Okay, tell me some good qualities. He plays Mridanga well or he sings well. What are the good qualities the person possesses? First thing is the service contribution to the mission. Second thing is their good qualities. Third is what has that person done to my personal life? Have I received some benefits from that person? If I have received, I should be grateful. So after thinking of these three things in our mind, then we'll be able to tolerate them by thinking of these three things. And after that, we have to keep little distance from such devotees who are not uplifting. And for the service sake, we may meet them and keep the talk very brief. And we don't talk for a long time because we can't tolerate their nature. Natures are different, like a cat and rat cannot associate. If you have different natures, even Lord Vishnu told Garuda, after Vasuki, a snake was brought, Lord told Garuda, you go away. Because if you are here, he won't have the breathing space. Yeah? So you go away, he told him. Because Garuda and the Vasuki snake will have some enmity. So Lord told Garuda to go away. In the same manner, sometimes if we find somebody arrogant and it is really discouraging to us, we can just associate only for the sake of seva and then keep distance. So these things we can do. And then one question before that is from Sakshi Malhotra Mataji. I have a question like we read the five limbs of bhakti are extremely conducive for development of bhakti and should be taken up by all who are all serious in Krishna consciousness. So if any devotee is naturally inclined to just one or two like deity worship or Nam Sankirtan, but not get much interest in time in reading scriptures, how we can understand it? Is he eligible for going to Bhagavad Nam? See what happens with this. If somebody is doing deity worship but not reading Prabhupada books, so then their worship may be done out of some emotional feeling. Therefore, liking our family deity is there. So I'm doing it because my father did, my grandfather did, so I'm also doing it, I may do. But understanding, if it is not developed, then depth will not come in devotion. So then sometimes we find that such people, they gradually gravitate towards other materialistic things. They become attracted. In the long run, they may not do. Like, for example, in some home, there is Shaligram Shila or Laddu Krishna and all. They worship for some time. And later on, when life becomes busy, it tosses the waves of material world and they become preoccupied with too many other things. They stop all the worship and all. But if we read Prabhupada books regularly, once the spiritual wisdom is awakened, then they will be able to worship with love, worship with affection. Because I told you in the class, devotion service means we should render some service to the best of our capacity, and that service should be rendered with love and devotion. And for that, study of scriptures is essential. So what I would suggest this devotee can do dressing of the deity, but put on recording of Prabhupada's lecture going on while decorating the deity. Others can help him, let him hear the lecture. So gradually they will develop taste for the lecture. All right? Yeah. So thank you for the question.
Puruchi, there is one last question, if you are okay, from the devotee.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, please.
So Puruchi, as you mentioned, little than Lord one, we understand that Lord is very merciful, but from our side, how can we understand that we are not actually doing little, but we are doing sufficient, like not being complacent? And especially when it comes to four aspects of our devotional life. One is our personal sadhana. Second is outreach programs. Third is like temple services, our commitment to the temple and the devotees.
Actually,
And
one of the reasons I spoke about doing little, because nowadays what is happening worldwide, some devotees are finding great pressure in their time planning. People are not having enough time. See, every grihastha has three duties. Family duty, professional duty, devotional duty. It's like a tripod. You know, like one should give time to home, one should give time for profession, where they bring the money to home, and temple services. And in the devotional duties, there are two. One is personal sadhana and personal reading and personal development. And then another aspect is giving out to the world. Janma sataka kari kara para upaka. So those two things are devotional. Similarly, in family, we can say taking care of our own body, our health, our yoga, exercise, or something like that, keeping our body fit, and taking care of the rest of the family members physically, emotionally, taking care of them. There are two duties. Similarly, in profession, in the office that we do, there we have to. One thing is to do the job well and not be fired from the job. That is one aspect. Another aspect is to ensure that we save money. We don't waste money or we don't squander the wealth that we earn. So in this way, these three duties are like a tripod. Tripod, one leg you break, other two will fall down. It cannot balance. So nowadays, worldwide, I'm finding ISKCON devotees, they find it challenging to balance all the three. Sometimes, they take care of profession and home very well, and then the temple going, and then sadhana, spiritual life goes for a toss. Or sometimes spiritual life goes well, family goes well, profession suffers. So we have to make sure that all the three are taken care of. Therefore, I spoke. So we can begin with a little, and then just like a weightlifter, what he does. Initially, he takes 50 pounds, and then eventually, say 60 pounds, 70 pounds. We have to keep on a little bit. As you grow, our capacity also increases. As we grow in the number of years, we can contribute more. Like I remember when I came to Pune, when I was made a president in the early years, it was a big struggle. Then subsequently, now I've been president for the last 25 years. And now new responsibility has come, a regional secretary assistant, where I have to take care of some 5-6 places. And then I am also having one more role in Hyderabad now, in India, where I am also one of the 4 presidents in the presidential board. I have a couple of months to go to Boston in America. Coming month, I'm going to Boston now. So now more duties came to me, but I'm by Krishna's grace, Guru's grace, I'm able to manage it, because as we proceed further, we look at people above us. GBCs are having continents to manage. What is our size of service? Ours is minuscule. We will feel like that. And also, I would say that our ability to take up more load of services will also increase with our maturity in devotion also. Otherwise, the service can lead to a burnout. So devotionally also we have to grow, so that we'll be able to take up service, and devotionally also we feel delighted and joyful. Susukam kartum avyayam. Is it all right, Prabhu?
Yeah, perfect, Guruji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for your enthusiasm and interest. Continue doing nicely. Actually, as of now, I have duty in US now. Probably after 2-3 years of coming to US, when my things get more stable, I can visit Canada. But I'm not visiting at the moment. But I'm seeing that Calgary community has a very great interest. I hear from other Pune devotees also, like Kaustu Prabhu and Rishabh and everybody. So you are all doing very well. Continue in the same spirit, blissfully, and on. Whenever I'm able to come, I'll come with some topic like this. I will share whatever little I learned. This topic especially I liked very much, because I feel it's a very encouraging topic for the devotees, both in their professional life as well as in devotional life. And therefore, I thought I'll share this with you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. Jai.